2021 so far has been a year that God has allowed so many issues that are inside of the Christian church to be exposed. If nothing else, God has exposed to us just how important it is for us to put our ultimate trust in Him and in His Word, rather than putting our trust in men and people that we respect. This Ravi situation has been another one of those times. Ravi Zacharias was a popular defender of the Christian faith who recently passed away sometime last year. Now, I've done 3 videos so far on Ravi, and the first was a tribute to his life, recalling the amazing contributions that he made to the Christian thought and to apologetics. The other 2 videos that I did were in response to the recent sexual allegations surrounding him both prior and after his death. In those videos, I covered a lot of ground that I think would help for people to process through the situation, so if you haven't watched those videos yet, make sure you do. And if you have watched those videos, then you'll know that I didn't talk too much about the details of the situation because my point and purpose was never to gossip or slander or anything like that. Instead, I wanted to focus on the bigger points about how this impacts the Christian faith or the credibility of our faith and why God would allow His leaders to fall and so on. Now, after I published the video, I got a few comments from some people who were upset that I even spoke about the situation in the first place. I've ignored most of those comments because I know my intentions and I very carefully and prayerfully considered the impacts that my statements would have before I even recorded the video. My goal was and has always been to protect the flock, so people being upset at me didn't really bother me that much. But now that the final investigation is complete, there's a couple more things that I just wanted to add. Now, first off, according to the final investigation, to just put it mildly, Ravi has had a long track record of living a double life. I've linked the report down below if you want to read it. Now, you can believe the investigation report or not, but if you do reject it, just don't do so on the basis of only bias. You see, we have a problem in Christianity that's not actually unique to just Christians. It's a human problem. All of us have a tendency to elevate people to places that they don't belong just because they have some sort of platform, and also we all have a tendency to be biased against information that goes against what we want to believe and information that goes against what or who we like. Now, of course, loyalty is a good thing. We want to remain loyal to our brothers and sisters, but we shouldn't let our loyalty to them override our loyalty to God and to the truth. Sometimes our loyalty can blind us from seeing the truth. James tells us to be quick to listen and to be slow to speak and slow to become angry. So when our gut reaction is just to reject something that we don't like without even giving it some sort of fair consideration, we should at least be open to the truth and take a step back to try to be more objective about it. When it comes to situations like this, it's also important for us to try to be as consistent as possible, especially for our witness. If we tell people that they can trust the historical reliability of what Jesus did based on the multiple independent sources, then we shouldn't be quick to reject the multiple and independent sources attesting to what Ravi did. If we argue that the early disciples had nothing to gain by lying and they had a lot to lose by telling the truth, then the same would be true for RZIM, which is Ravi's organization. They had nothing to gain by lying about these women's stories, and they actually had a lot to lose by telling the truth. And contrary to what so many people were falsely claiming, the same is true for the women that were involved in this situation as well. From what I understand, none of the women who spoke against Ravi after his death got any sort of financial compensation or anything like that. The only woman that got paid was a woman that Ravi himself paid when he agreed to have her sign a non-disclosure agreement. Some people complain that those of us who made videos talking about the Ravi situation did so in error because some people are going to use those against Christianity, so therefore it was wrong for us to talk about it at all in the first place. But this reasoning seems incredibly backwards to me for several reasons. What they seem to be missing is the fact that atheists and Muslims were making videos about it anyway. But not just that, the conclusions that they drew from the Ravi situation were invalid, so a thoughtful Christian response was needed, even if for no other reason than to show people that what Ravi did doesn't impact the truth of Christianity. As I said in my first video back in October, I don't know if Ravi is guilty or not, but if he were, then he was a flawed man, but that still doesn't discredit the exceptional work that he did in revealing the truth about Christianity to millions of people around the world. If Christianity is true, which of course I believe it is, then it doesn't simply become untrue simply because Ravi committed those sins. It also doesn't mean that his arguments and the reasons that he gave for the truth of Christianity somehow become less true or false just because of the things that he did wrong. Truth will always remain the truth, no matter who says it. I don't care if it was El Chapo. If he claimed that Christianity was true and he gave sound arguments for the existence of God, then it would still be true, and his arguments and the reasons he gave would still be valid, despite how morally awful his life has been. So with the investigation finally being over, I hope that this situation can be used as a time for prayer and care for the victims, and also remind us to exercise humility and love. I also pray when things like this and other things happen this year, these things will continually remind us of the fact that we can only place our ultimate trust in Christ and Christ alone. So now if you're left wondering how God could let so many of his great leaders fall, go ahead and check out this video where I talk about that very question in detail. But the next time that we put too much trust in flawed men, what are you going to say?